What's one comeback you've used in life that was so smooth you still grin when you think back on it? Mine was during a breakup argument. In her fit of anger, she shouted at me, "I faked every single orgasm I had with you." To which I replied, I was too busy enjoying my own to notice. The look of rage on her face at that was worth having her throw my PlayStation at me. I'm usually a sap, but I was sitting in a coffee shop with some friends, plus a few people I didn't know. The girl in the group started talking about the types of guys they are into. This girl I just met said, "I don't know what it is, but I really like when guys are D's to me." And before she could finish her next sentence, I said, "Holy crap, are you still talking?" Everyone looked at me like in complete shock, but the girl gave me a grin of approval. I was conversing with a friend about video games in the school cafeteria when a loud, overweight girl starts loudly talking about how all guys who play video games are nerds. I shoot her a look and say, "I guess I'm a nerd then." She rolls her eyes and says, "Tell me something I don't know, freak." Off the top of my head, I reply, "Salads taste good." I was at a bar at a table with some friends. A group of women looked to be in their early 50s, sitting at a nearby table completely hammered, which normally wouldn't be an issue. Only these ladies were literally gutting younger women with insults as they passed by, trying to see how many they could make cry. After about an hour or so of this happening, these women started looking for men to take home. I know this because they were nice enough to announce it out loud to the entire bar every few minutes. One of the women, a blonde that happened to be the ringleader of this group, kept looking over at me, trying to capture my attention. Not being overly attracted to obnoxious, I ignore this woman, which only makes it worse and only makes her more angry. So she gets up and walks over to our table, tells me that she's going to the bathroom and that I better be there when she returns because I'm going home with her. To which I say it's not happening. But she ignores me and makes her way to the bathroom. On her way back, she walks past me and loudly exclaims, "D," so everyone at her table and my table can hear, to which I respond, "Oh, Mom, you know how you get after 2 drinks." She turned around, and I've rarely seen a woman so peed off. She started screaming something I couldn't make out, which attracted the bouncer, who promptly kicked her out. Everyone clapped, and I drank the rest of the night for free. TLDR, called a cougar a mother, she got bounced. I was witness to a murder in which I was one of the people that they tried to kill. Years later after it happened, I get a call I needed to testify as they had caught the a-holes. After several minutes of questioning, the DA asked me what I was thinking after they shot at me. Thinking to myself how you answer a blatantly obvious and ridiculous question, the only response I could come up with was, "Crap!" The entire court started laughing, including not only every juror, but the DA defense attorney and the judge. Even the stenographer was laughing so hard she stopped typing. I'm fairly certain I'll never get another zinger like that again. Beautiful. Also, congrats on not being murdered. Please like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video and have a wonderful day. I used to work at this pizza joint that would stay open late on the weekends to hit the bar crowd. The pizza was New York style, so 18-inch pie was standard and slices were as big as your face. A pair of guys came in and ordered a slice each of the Meat Lovers pizza, which came out to like $4.75 a slice. Now, I get that one might find this pizza to be pricey, but the amount of toppings we put on it made up for that, so I thought. These guys began throwing a fit about it, and we defended ourselves, saying that we didn't set the prices, and we're sorry, but that's how it is. We have to eat too. One of the guys looks at my coworker, who is a big overweight, and goes, "Well, you look like you're eating well," pays for the slice, and sits down to eat it. 5 minutes later, I walk out with a slice for a different customer who asked to have his slice warmed in the oven, and as I turn around to go back behind the counter, these 2 guys are standing right in front of me and get all up in my face. The one guy from before goes, "We're gonna leave our garbage on the table for your ass to clean up, 'cause your pizza is too expensive." I looked him right in the eyes and said, "You come rolling in here wearing your Dolce & Gabbana BS sunglasses, ready to pay $8 for a shot of pucker, and you're gonna complain about $5 pizza? Get the F out of my restaurant." As I said that, the guy looks around the whole restaurant that is now staring at us and starts the whole BS, and I go, "What the F is your problem? You gonna effing leak, a-hole? Get the F out." And all of a sudden, the whole restaurant erupted into a bunch of "ooh, damn, crap," and people were clapping. It was amazing. The owner always told the guys running the bar shift that they could say and do whatever they needed to in order to get someone to leave that was being rude or disorderly. I took that privilege very seriously. Had about 13 shots of tequila at my mother's birthday party. A man that was interested in her showed up. He was the stereotypical redneck, very narrow-minded, conservative Republican, judgmental, stubbornly and willfully ignorant, falsely quoted the Bible, etc. Anyway, he made the mistake of talking to me. He kept boasting about how he's a proud redneck, but tried to tell me that there were classy rednecks and trashy breeds. My response was, "Oh, I wonder what's the difference between the two. Do the classy rednecks frame their Confederate flag instead of using them as curtains?" It was a fantastic night. I'm normally a very polite girl. I was in middle school. This one guy, let's call him Ben, was bullying the fat kid in my grade in the locker room after our gym period, while everyone was changing. Let's call the chubby guy Chris. What was strange was this bully was smaller than Chris, but still managed to push him around and make him feel like crap. At one point, he cornered Chris and just kept acting like he was about to take a swing at him, just waiting for Chris to wince or flinch. I was really annoyed at how little of a F everyone was giving about this, so I went to the bully who was my size and just pushed him against the wall. He punched me on my arm and said, "F off, Hindu guru, your mother is a C." Honestly, I don't know how I thought of this, but I almost immediately responded saying, "Tell your mom to stop changing your lipstick, my D is turning rainbow." 'Cause we were in middle school, everyone just went, "Oh." Ben just shut his A up and went back to his locker. Haven't had a smooth comeback since. Not mine, but my sister's. She was about 4 and wanting to play kitchen in her room. She grabbed some cereal boxes from the kitchen and put them in her room. My mother, in trying to explain why it wasn't acceptable, said, "The cereal will bring ants. Do you want ants in your room?" My sister, not missing a beat, replied, "Do you want ants in your kitchen?" The story still gets brought up at family gatherings 20 years later. Walking home from high school in the summer and some fat kid and his friends saw me from across the street. The fat kid yells, "You have huge tits," to which I responded, "Not as big as yours," and gave him a nice little smile and walked away as his friends laughed at him. I work in a supplement store. One night, as I was nearing the end of my shift and getting tired of talking to people, a young guy and his buddy walk in, and the guy decides he's going to be Mr. Funny Man and make jokes about all the products. I hate when people do this because A, the jokes are never funny, and B, I've heard them all before. So after humoring a few somewhat obnoxious quips from him, the guy grabs a fat burner off the shelf and holds it up at me. "Ooh, look at this one. Hey miss, is this going to make me look way better?" To which I replied without missing a beat, "I really hope so." His buddy and the other guys in the store just started cracking up. I hadn't meant to sound so B, it just sort of came out that way. My stepdad was having a Christmas dinner/party a few years back for the law firm at the house. One of my stepdad's friends had just been talking crap all night, little comments here and there about me. You could call it teasing. At first I brushed it off because he was drunk, but it got to me after a while. Anyway, we're all eating at the table and he's sitting across from me. His date is at the end of the table to the right of me. Everyone was talking, and somehow the conversation steered towards me, about to make it a long-distance thing with my girl because I was moving for college. So the dude starts talking crap, saying something along the lines of, "You're so young to be pee-whipped. When I was your age, I had all sorts of fun, but now I'm old, blah, blah." It was almost awkward. Then the date gently grabs his bicep and says, "It's okay, I like my men how I like my wine." And me, without skipping a beat, "You like them extra fruity?" The whole dinner table, like 15 of us, started laughing hysterically. The guy got mad. He was like, "Why would you call me that?" And I sarcastically said, "I don't know. Why would I call you that?" The dude was very eccentric and a bit flamboyant, so it just bothered him, I guess. So he demanded I answered him, and I was like, "Chill out, man." So he got more upset and demanded I answer him or else. So I stood up and was like, "Or else what?" He stands up and I fake punch his ass. He totally flinched, so my stepdad starts laughing, tells him to calm down before he gets his panties all up in a bunch. Dude stormed off outside. He was totally embarrassed. They still make fun of him to this day how he got punked by a high school kid. The truth is, I'm usually pretty quick on my feet, but I at least think what I'm going to say. This one just spat out of my mouth. I didn't even realize I said it. It's like, that's what she said. I just say it after anything naturally. It just so happened that it was a perfect setup to what seemed to be a sensitive subject for that dude. Every time I think about it, all I see is success baby in my head. I was at the comedy club and got up to use the bathroom, which was directly behind the stage. As I walked back to my table, the comedian on stage waved at the curtain behind him and said, You know, behind this curtain is a one-way mirror. We were all watching you in there. In an uncharacteristic moment of confidence and wit, I turned to him and said, "Yes, I heard the applause." Probably going to get buried, but I was at a New Year's party at my uncle's house. One of my uncle's friends was making fun of my dog, a dachshund, and said, "You can tell a lot about a man by the size of his dog." I replied with, "Well, you have a cat." I really liked anime, and so bullies in school often taunted me with BS about Pokemon. One day in math class, a guy turned around and said, "I've caught all the Pokemon, what about you?" Me? Really? Have you caught chlamydia yet? Him? Of course I have. Best part was, a girl in front of him turned around and said, "Dude, that's a vaginal disease." He looked so ashamed. I'm getting ready to leave a happy hour and see that my coat is still on the bar stool that I was at earlier, but now is being sat on by the CEO, and my bag was on the bar next to him. So I walk over and somewhat sheepishly, I was pretty low on the totem pole, said, "Excuse me," to get my coat when I go to grab my bag. He grabs it and says, winking at the CFO, "It's cool, we've already been through your bag, there's no money in there." Without even thinking, I said, "Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that." They burst out laughing, and after that, I was cool with the CEO. True story. This wasn't particularly brilliant, but it happened recently enough that I can still remember it as I sit here on my ratty futon on a Friday night, drinking and redditing. I was walking my dog in the middle of a really narrow, almost empty sidewalk. I saw an elderly lady approaching me, so I started to get off the side to let her pass as we got closer to each other. She scowled at me and said, "Excuse me, where are you going?" "Just to the park over there. Why do you ask?" "Well, you need to stay the hell on the right when you're walking." It was a beautiful, perfect day, but all she could focus on was the fact that I was walking in a way that was not totally to her liking. I looked at her with the biggest crap-eating grin I could muster and cooed, "Aw, you're so old and angry," and I walked off. I was on a crowded bus with my friend one time when we were confronted by a girl from our high school. She was drunk and began to go off about how my friend had treated her horribly in high school because she used to be fat. She had recently lost a lot of weight and was clearly proud of it because she then went on to say, so that the whole bus heard her, "Well, look at me now. What do you have to say about me now?" To which my friend just replied, "I guess elephants never forget." The entire bus lost it. Her face was priceless. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.